Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is a special occasion. Wow, who would have thought this would happen again? You're not having a flashback. This is not 5 years ago. This is not In other words, this is not 2005 or 2015 or 2005, which would have been 15 years ago. By the way, this is the absolute first broadcast on YouTube in about 5 years. I couldn't tell you the exact last time I broadcasted on YouTube, but I know it was in 2015 sometime. But I am here. This is going to be a little different than what you're used to. Unfortunately, folks, the only thing I can tell you is this: we are here, we are live, and well, the unfortunate thing about being live for me right now is I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing here. Um, which I actually do know what I'm doing. Not really promoting. I didn't really promote anything on the YouTube site, so I don't really expect too many viewers there. Basically, what I'm doing with the YouTube page is I'm going to be spending a little bit of time trying to figure out exactly what I'm doing. But anyway, I'm gonna share the link or something probably. But anyway, I don't know. Hey, how's it going, Emma? I don't know if I'm going to switch back to YouTube full time and actually start streaming there on a consistent basis again, or what the deal may be. But the only thing I can tell you this on a personal level, the only thing I can tell you for sure is, you know, I'm here and I'm going to make it happen. Um, but I'm going to go view this page on YouTube and see what I can do to make people watch that are, you know, and it looks like things are going good. So anyway, this is the world according to Chris, and I am extremely proud to be here. And for those of y'all who have been regulars, and for those of y'all who are new, this is what we do here. Usually, what I would like to tell you is I cover a bunch of different things, locally and statewide, if applicable. I usually, if anyone's been following over the last few months, obviously, the world news lately, there's been this thing called the coronavirus. It's been wreaking absolute havoc all over pretty much everything. It's interrupted everything from pro sports to entertainment of all sorts, to life in general. Here in New York, upstate New York, New York's been on pause, as our governor's put it, since sometime in March, and a good chunk of the state will continue to be on pause until the end of it, beginning of June. Hey, get out of here! Get! Stupid cat. It's not yours. Kill that damn thing. Sorry, folks. Anyway, I apologize for that. But anyway, we've been on pause since June, or since March, and some of the state will be on pause till June. On other parts, even like, I guess, some places, parts of upstate New York, here in Rochester, Monroe County, should be open for business in the next couple of weeks. Some of it, I mean, they say the 15th is when everything starts, but who knows? At this point, the only thing I can promise you for sure is there's going to be some changes if we're really going to have business as usual or unusual at this point. I'm not really positive on the idea that we're going to have real business here in Rochester, here in New York, for quite a while, until things can really start to get back to normal. Whatever normal maybe, I don't know, and I don't want to pretend to know what normal will be, because unfortunately, the normal that we know is not exactly the normal that we want. Some of us want to, all of us that, especially if you're someone like myself, you enjoy going out for beers, you enjoy going out and just getting out of the house, going to work, doing what you do, and living. Well, unfortunately, with everything going on, you can't go for beers anywhere. You can't do what you, and a lot of ways, you can't even really, you can't go for beers. You can't go, well, you can't go, well, you can, you just can't drink in the bar. anyway, what I will say is this: it's been a tough go. In God's name is this thing doing? Um, it's been a tough go, and realistically, I know we got a lot of. It's going to be a long road before we're able to do anything that we want to do again. And personally, I'd like to think that this will be over soon. Um, but on a personal level, I don't know how true that is. But again, it's tough, and as you can tell, I'm sharing to the various pages that I share too. That's the noises you hear. And anyway, it's been tough, and anyone that thinks otherwise is quite foolish. Um, it's been one of those weeks where it's one of those times where correction it's one of those times where you have a lot more time to sit and reflect about what's really important in life as opposed to you know trying to dwell over things that really don't mean shit. um, on a personal level, I mean, I can relate to that in more ways than not. um, Now, for you guys that are watching now, or some of y'all that'll be watching later, I can only tell you from experience. Just sometimes people just don't get the. Sometimes people just don't get the hint, and that things are as bad as they are. A lot of some people here locally, especially, and unfortunately, a lot of people in my own circle of people, they just think it's a big fucking joke. Um, Yeah, I kind of figured that was coming. Um, and realistically, people may not even be able to go to parks for anything right now. Um, but anyway, as I said, people just it's some strange times, and realistically, people got to get out of their own way. Um, if you don't want to believe in, if you don't want to believe the hype, that's fine. You could be ignorant all you want. It's just ignorant. That's all it is. Um, but make sure your being ignorant doesn't possibly endanger the health and well-being of other people around you that are not being as ignorant as you are. Um, you don't want to wear a mask? Personally, that's fine with me. You don't want to wear a mask. I didn't wear a mask. I went out today for a little bit, and I went to my nephew's for my nephew. One of my nephews had a fourth birthday today. I didn't wear a mask, but I was only out for a handful of seconds. So what I did was I did this, and I felt just as fine. But anyway, and most occasions, I think even going into as far as you know, not going into as far. I can't even speak right now. I'm so screwed up there. But I think what people got to understand is if we're gonna get to this new normal and be able to get back to work and get back to do what we want to do as a community and as a country, I think people got to embrace the new normal. How's it going, Sue? And basically, what the new normal is this: you're not going to you don't want to go hanging out at the bar, right now, or when you don't know who's got what or what's going on where. And I mean, everyone wants to. I can't wait to get out and have a beer with my friends again. But at the end of the day, I don't know how much. Everyone wants to. I don't know how long it's going to be, and personally, it's nobody's. I don't know, and it scares me not knowing when it's going to be. But at the same time, I just don't think right now the idea of going for beers is something that I'm totally in the. I don't know if I'm totally ready for it. I mean, I'm considered kind of, I'm considered, immunocompromised, and that's why I'm not working. But and I could get back to work quite easily, but if I really wanted, if I wanted to put myself in danger, but I don't, because I've had enough health issues in my life, and I really don't want to add to those issues. Um, personally, I think on a personal level, as I've said before, and I think I've said this the last few shows since I've decided to really, get back on the air. I've said it relatively consistently, even. What people got to understand is, again, I'm personally not afraid of getting sick. I know I have a good idea. I have a pretty good idea that I'll be fine. And that's really that's the thing with most people. If you think you're going to, if you're anything like me, if you think you're going to get sick, you're going to get sick. That's how it's always worked with me. If I don't think I'm going to get sick, I don't get sick. I'm the exact opposite of most people when it comes to that. I don't, I'm even, and I'm one of those guys where I seldom get hangovers when I drink too much. I've gotten more hangovers in the last few years than I've gotten in the first 15 or first 13 years of my drinking career. But that's because I've gotten way too old to be staying out till 4 a.m, or 2 a.m, or even 11 o'clock at night, which is, but anyway, all that is, just put the joking aside again and get back to being serious. I think what people got to understand is we are here in a time where we just don't know what the future holds and what things are going to be like, what the new normal is going to be and how people are going to react to this new normal. And for me, when I see these assholes on Facebook pissing and moaning, whining and complaining about how Cuomo isn't doing this, or how Cuomo is doing that, or how whatever this is the wrong way, or this is the right way, or whatever, or whatever the bitch of the day may be. I look at it like this: even if Cuomo says, you know what, let's unpause New York in general. Let's do everything in phases again. Like they were planning on doing. And do you really think that most logically and normally thinking people are going to be rushing to go grab a beer someplace? You think most logical and normal thinking people are going to be willing to sit down in a packed fucking restaurant and eat? Just the examples I'm giving right here. I can tell you right now, I'd be pretty scared if I were someone who was not Chris Schrader to go into a restaurant and sit down and have a bite to eat, or sit down someplace and have a beer with the idea that I might get some sort of life-threatening illness like this. And I can tell you this much: I have family members that are currently on the, as Cuomo's used this quote and Trump's used this quote, and I personally can't stand it, but it's the quote they've been using, the front lines of this battle. And I'll tell you what, it's no joke to them. It's just, I have a sister on the COVID floor right now, and I have a cousin on the COVID floor. They're both nurses working, and it's just as bad as they think is. It's just as bad as they think is. You think is the people that think it is. And the people that don't think it's bad are the ones that aren't really worrying too much and think it's a joke. And on a personal level, I'm not ready to think anything like this is a joke. I mean, if I'm an asshole for thinking for taking this seriously and not really feeling the urge to go pretty much anywhere, then I guess I'm an asshole. Hold on, I'm gonna grab this guy. Get out of here! Huh? Let's get out of here. Stupid cats. Sorry, but anyway, if we're assholes, if I'm an asshole for not wanting to put myself in jeopardy or put anybody else in jeopardy, then I guess I'm an asshole. But if again, I'd rather be an asshole that's putting myself or my health first and keeping myself happy, or, in whatever time for however long this goes on. It is what it is. I don't want to get sick. I don't want others to get sick around me. And I personally, I have 11 brothers and sisters, and I still live at home. And I'll tell you this much: I don't think any of them want to get sick either. So it ain't just about me. I'm not going to lie to anybody and say, hey, I'm going to put a mask on in my own home. That's just not happening. But if I have to go out in public, and if going out in public and wearing a mask, and even if it's not even if scientists, or even if it's scientifically proven that it doesn't help, and I just do that, the hand motion just to put the quotation marks on what I'm saying. Even if it's scientifically proven that it doesn't help or whatever, if it gives others a peace of mind and makes them want to continue going out and living their life, then it's worth it. Because until we're actually able to accept that this is the new normal for at least the time being, until they find some sort of way to put the brakes on this pandemic, that's the new normal. I'm not, I'm just as antsy to get out and have a beer with as there anybody else, but at the same time, you gotta look at it with the clear head ratio, a clear head here, and think about, hey, you know what? It's more than just me here. Just because I may not personally worry doesn't mean that I'm not going home to elderly parents or an immunocompromised person who may not survive something like COVID-19 if they're infected. Because in reality, that's the case. I had a friend that died 10 years ago from H1N1. Yet there was people in my life even then, family members, friends, or whatever, that, didn't think that virus was as bad as it was. I mean, the people that knew this person, family members or friends, would believed it. But, it still doesn't change the fact that what everything is what everything is. I mean, it's not something we want to see on a personal level be something bigger than what it is. I don't because I personally don't, and I've said this before, I personally don't want to believe that this is as bad as it is, but it is. And I have to accept it. I was going to say expect it, but I have to accept it, and we all have to accept it. And it's part of moving on and trying to get this country back to work and get people back to work and get everyone back on the right page. Because at the end of the day, that's where we need to be if we're going to get any further than we are right now. Right? Because right now, as it stands, we're still in trouble. We're not getting any further. We're not getting better right now. Yeah, I mean, some things are looking up, yes, but until there is a proper vaccination in place or some sort of remedy to control the spread of the virus, realistically, we're screwed. There's no sit. Damn it! I cannot believe I just did it to my arm. It doesn't really hurt all that bad, but every once in a while, if I move my arm the wrong way, it just pops, and I hate that. It just made a real bad noise. Ouch! But anyway, realistically, we are here. This is where we are right now. We're in the, but as far as finding a vaccine right now, I'd say we're here. As far as quarantine and getting the chains removed, I think we're right here. We're halfway there, maybe. Because realistically, everyone from Donald Trump to Andrew Cuomo to your local leaders, they all know that we have to get the country moving again. And I'm talking about New York here. The United States plus New York, not just because I don't know all the governors, and I'm just obviously riffing about Cuomo here because he's the governor I have to worry about, because I really, on a personal level, whether the governor and whatever, this state, that state down, PA or wherever opens, that's none of my concern. It's, my concern is Cuomo, and my concern is my local leaders. But that's where we're at right now. It sucks. This whole idea that we're locked in our homes for another possible month isn't something I'm cool with. But at the same time, it's something I'm accepting because I understand it's what is right now. And it's not like It's not like you're going to go out anywhere anytime soon anyway. You're not going to go for a beer. You're not going to go for, you're not going to go for a fish fry and sit down. You're not going to go get a tattoo. You're not going to get a haircut. The the wheels on your bus are broken. So let's just put it that way. I'll be on. That was my cue. That's my cue to say I'll be going. I'm off the air by 8:45 because I got to get. Is it on Chosen Spot or is it on Facebook? Okay, now this is where I have to cut off the COVID talk because I want to talk about my buddy, the Spaz Man. Okay, this guy. I'm picking up all the back downstairs. Last thing I need is for that goddamn TV or anything else. I don't want my, especially with the way Facebook has been. I don't want to screw around and catch myself getting my videos banned because some jackass on TV reported me. Good, I'll be listening. So if any of you heard anything, let me know so I can go back later after the broadcast is over and get rid of it. Because I can, at least on YouTube, I can shut things off, which I think it's already shut off on YouTube here right now. I think I did that before I got off YouTube the first time around. But I'm glad to be here, and I'm just making. This is what you're hearing. You're hearing me now, but anyway, if you heard any music or anything, let me know so I can go back and cut that part of the feed out. It might actually cut me out, but that's all right. I'd rather cut me off for a second and a half than get myself a copyright notice and then screw my show page over on my YouTube account. I'm more concerned about the show page on Facebook than I am the YouTube account because if I get a copyright strike on YouTube, at least I can go somewhere else because I have other places. I am registered to go live if I want to, but I'd much rather be live on YouTube, to be honest with you. And I know right now, because I'm just doing this YouTube thing as a test run, I'm probably not going to be getting too many views over there, but at least I know it's working, and that's what I'm doing tonight. Anyway, back to what I was saying. We have to be vigilant. Yep, you saw that. Yep, not Zuckerberg. I'm creative, ain't I? Fart not Zuckerberg. That's his name, Fart not Zuckerberg. Yep. He deserves to be called far worse. He's an asshole. And there's other people that are way worse than Mark Zuckerberg, but I don't really like him at all right now. I think he's kind of an idiot. I'm actually more irritated at some of these musicians that are on YouTube, or not YouTube, but Facebook, or any sort of social media platform, to be honest with you. Even bands like Metallica. And speaking of that, I actually have to answer a question I was asked the other night. I'm not sure if the person's watching here now, but I was talking to somebody the other night, and I had said that the idea that Metallica actually lost any real substantial money by donating $350,000 was ridiculous. This COVID thing. I stand by that. As I said, that band, James Hetfield himself is worth almost $500 million between Metallica and having stake in several guitar, several things related to guitars and music in general. He's worth a shit ton of money. Lars Ulrich is worth about $300 million. So $300,000 to those guys is absolutely nothing. And the idea that anyone really believes that they're hurting for any money is stupid. But here's what I think. I'm not saying what they're doing is not commendable. $300,000 is better than nothing. But let's not act like them giving $300,000 is all of a sudden going to make things better. Because there's people, and we at the end of the day, we got to stop acting like people bring, putting money into the picture is going to make things, all of a sudden, somebody's a great guy or some band is a great band or some entertainer's a great entertainer because they have all of a sudden opened their wallet because they have nothing else to do with their time. The idea that Metallica is going to get back on stage at all in 20. What the fuck? Oh, someone's messaging me. Never mind. I'm busy. Anyway, sorry. And what people got to understand is right now, as it stands, Metallica's not supposed to get. They're not supposed to be playing again until October. Unless they're showing their little intimate show is allowed to go off. They haven't a show for members only, I believe, at somewhere in California, but I'm not quite sure where it is at this point. But it's for the fan club members only. And personally, I think it's a joke that anyone would put anything together. But it's going to be in a small. I guess it's going to be a small acoustic gig. And I'm don't get me, but at the same time, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense for me to really plan any Metallica shows this year. And I know they're supposed to do the Global Citizen Festival in New York City, I believe, on the 26th of September. But I think Global Citizen's going to cancel that. Sounds like that's going to be canceled. And there's a tour of South America around Christmas time, but I think maybe things will be a little bit better and they'll be able to do that. But that's about, I think, all they'll be doing. Outside of maybe that show in Daytona, I think it is on, or Sacramento, actually, not Daytona, Sacramento, California. A couple shows there in the end of October. But either way, it's just ridiculous that this, going back to the discussion of, this whole, because I'm trying to actually keep on this tonight. The idea that people aren't taking this seriously yet, these bands are. I mean, never mind the money or whatever they put towards it, but shoot, I gotta get a drink or something. Yep. Woohoo! All right, heavy metal, big dog. I'll be on. You know that, big dog. Anyway, I think what people got to do is they got to stop with their ass kissing of these musicians and start, because if they truly believe what the musicians and these entertainers are saying, they might actually start taking this whole COVID-19 seriously. I mean, if a band like Metallica, who's notorious for playing anywhere where and this is not a slam against them, but it's the truth, because it truly is. If a band like Metallica, who's notorious for doing anything that can make the band a buck, is saying, we can't play this festival, or we can't play here, or we can't do this because the risk is too great to our health, that's got to tell people something. And I know some people in my own life have that, even if they're not as big into Metallica as they used to be. There's people in my own life that are fans of Metallica's music that still kind of live with that philosophy. you know, even though they're not into the heavy metal is life type of deal, they're still into the yeah. This is what we yeah. I'm tough. I'm macho. I'm this. I'm that. But at the end of the day, what they truly are is ignorant. Um, and on a personal level, that's all I can really say about that. Is it's just ignorance, and it's ignorance. It's too bad. But again, but if a band like Metallica says, you know what, the conditions are too dire for us to go out and tour, that should be enough for people to say, you know what, especially people that are closer in age to those guys. The youngest guy in that band is 55. The oldest guy in that band is 57, 58 this year. So between 55 and 58, so between my parents' age, okay? And if guys like that are saying, you know what, it's not worth the danger, we should get off our ass and do what we need to do to get through this, because otherwise we're just going to get worse and things aren't going to reopen. And pretty soon it's going to get to a point, especially in New York State, where at this point it doesn't look like the teams like the Giants or the Jets are going to be playing this year, because even though they are technically considered New Jersey, right at, as far as New York and New Jersey are both equally in bad. They're both shut down. But anyway, I'm gonna get ready to hit the road here because I got to get ready for this big rock concert on Chosen Spot Radio. It's not really a concert; it's just the Spaz man cranking the tunes, cracking necks, and whooping some serious heavy metal ass. Let's do it. Have a great night, everyone. This has been the World According to Chris. God bless you all. See you next time. Rise and grind in about 2 days. But anyway, let's rock and roll. See you. God bless. God bless.